Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Kita berjumpa lagi. Okay, so this is lesson 10, week 11, part 2. Okay, so previously we already covered in part 1 up until not null constraints. So for part 2, okay, so we will continue with unique constraint. Okay, so what is unique constraint? Alright, so enables. Unique constraint is enables the inputs of null unless you define the not null constraint for the same columns. In fact, any number of row can include nulls for column without the not null constraint because nulls are not considered equal to anything. Alright, so a null in a column or in all columns of composite unique key always satisfies a unique constraint. Okay, so please make sure. Unique means we need to make sure that the data that we insert into the row or table must be unique, so different from others. Okay, a unique key integrity constraint requires that every value in the columns or a set of column key be unique. That is, no two rows or table can have duplicate values in a specified column or a set of column. Okay, so if let's say we put a unique constraint at the emails column, so make sure each of the column must be unique. So this is still allowed, but if let's say in the next row we put the same names, the same email address at column 2009, at row 2009, okay, and it conflict with the row 208, okay, it will not allow this email to be exist. Okay, so unique means unique, so we need to make sure only difference data that will be inserted into the tables or the row. Okay, and if the unique constraint comprises more than one column, that group of column is called a composite unique key. Okay, so please bear in mind, please make sure. Unique means unique. We must make sure everything is unique. Otherwise, the SQL or the constraint will not allow, okay, the data to be inserted. Okay, next. Okay, this is the example, like before this. Okay, so define the unique at either at the table levels or the column level. Is up to you all, which one you prefer. But for this example, they are using table level. Why? Because the constraints is at the bottoms of the statement. So immediately after the last column. So we need to create table, employee, last name, emails is here. Okay, salary, commission, hire date, and the next one we just put a constraint, emp email UK. This is the names of the constraint, and then we put the constraint is unique for which column. The column is email, so this will refer back to this one. Okay, so why? Because this constraint we define at a table level and not a column level, so it's going to be the same. If let's say you put this constraint immediately after email, no need to put email here. Okay, that's the difference. Okay, next. Okay, primary key. This is quite simple. Primary key. Okay, so just to make sure that all the value inside this column is unique. Okay, and also they are not allowed to put not null. If let's say you miss something here, the database, the table will notify you all. Will notify us. Okay, not null is not allowed, and not allowed the same value. Okay, let's say we put 50 here, so this SQL we check again. So we that we already have a value here 50. So this is will not allow. Okay, so same because of we put this as a primary key constraints. Okay, next foreign key. Okay, so foreign key. Okay, the foreign key constraint designated a column or a combinations of a column as a foreign key and establish a relationship with the primary key or a unique key in the same table or in the different tables. Okay, I think this one also I already explained in our previous lessons. Okay, so if let's say we in our department tables, okay, we declared department ID as a primary key, and at the same time we put the same department ID in different table that is employee. This is what we call as a foreign key. Okay, this is what we call as foreign key. So foreign means asing, and the columns will reside in the different tables. Okay, so same goes here. Not allowed 9. Not allowed 9 does not exist. Okay, 60 is allowed. Why 9 is not part of the value here? 9 is not part of the value here, so this will not allow. 60, yes, because 60 we have 60 here. So okay, 9, and we have 9 here. 9 is not somewhere in here, but 60. Okay, 60, yes, and because we have 60 here. This is not allowed, this is allowed. Okay, alright, next. Okay, foreign key constraint, same as the previous one, defined at either table levels or a column level. Alright, so just need to create employee ID, last name, email, salary, commission, hire dates, department. Okay, so for this constraint, if let's say you look carefully, this is defined at table level. Why? Because the constraint is defined immediately after the last column here. After the last column here. So what happened here? Okay, same as the previous one. Okay, this is the constraint names. Okay, we put the constraint name is a foreign key. So foreign key for which column? So the column is department ID. So which one is department ID? It refer to this one. Even though for this one, the constraint is immediately after the department, but the department ID here is considered the last column for this table. So this constraint is considered table level. Okay, because we know that this column will appear here. Okay, and reference, okay, is not finished yet. So again, so constraints, employee foreign key is the constraint names. We put as a primary key for which column is column department ID, and the reference is from table department ID. Okay, so this department ID is a primary key, this department ID is a foreign key. Okay, so at the end of the table, at the end of the this column level, table level, okay, we can put the constraint, and the next one, okay, followed by another constraint here. Constraint, maybe we want to put email, unique, and refer back to email. Email is here, and so on. Okay, because these two is considered table level. Alright. Okay, so for this one, you mentioned that foreign key constraint on the department ID column of the employees table using table level syntax. Okay, table level syntax, and the names of the constraint is EMP, DEPT, FK. So this one. Okay, EMP, DEPT, FK. We can put our own constraint names, or maybe Oracle can use the default value. Okay, next. Foreign key constraint keywords. Okay. Foreign key. Foreign key. Define the columns in the child tables at the constraint levels. Reference and identify that the table and column in the parent table. Okay. So this is the parent table. This is the child table. This is foreign key. This is primary key. Okay. If let's say we put on delete cascade, deletes the dependence row in the child table when a row in the parent table is deleted. If let's say we delete something here, the child table is also automatically deleted. If we put on delete cascade. The next one is on delete set null. Okay, convert dependence foreign key value to null. Okay, whatever value in the child table, we'll put null. Okay, if we delete the parent table, if we delete the parent table, okay, this is happen when we use on delete set null. Okay, next. Okay, the default behavior is called restrict rule, which disallow the updates or deletions of reference table. Okay, these two is they call it restrict value. Without the on delete cascade and also delete set null option, the row in the parent table cannot be deleted because it is referenced in the child table. Okay, apa-apa yang kita dah refer kepada table lain, kita cannot, we cannot simply delete from the parent table. Okay, so bear in mind, kalau kata ada reference dalam table lain, so ada table A refer to table B, so kita tak boleh delete table B, just simply delete the table B because dia ada reference from table A. Okay, next. Okay, so for the last constraint is the check constraint. Check constraint here defines a condition that each row must satisfy. The following expressions are not allowed. Okay, so reference to curve, val, next val, level, row num, and so on, this is not allowed. And calls to sysdate, UID, user, rent, user env, and so on is not allowed. And also query that refer to other value in the row. Okay, so this is the examples of the check constraint. Okay, this is the constraint. This is the constraint names. Okay, we use check constraint, and this is the value. If let's say salary is greater than the salary must be greater than 0. So meaning that's only positive number that we can input. So if let's say we put negative, this will not allowed. Okay, this is not allowed. Okay, yang ini tidak akan dibenarkan. Okay, so because of we check the salary must greater than 0. So meaning that positive only. Mesti lebih besar daripada kosong dan tak boleh letak nilai yang negatif. Okay. Okay, but be careful with this statement. Okay, next. Okay, so this is the examples of the full examples of how to create table using the by column example. By column. So meaning that after each column, we followed by the constraint. Okay, if let's say you want to put constraint for the last name, we put immediately after the last name. So for the email, put immediately after the email. Also goes to same goes to hire dates, job ID, salary, and so on. Until finish. So this is what we call by column level, because we define the constraint immediately after that column. Okay, next. Okay, this is another example here. Okay, this is just another example. Okay, example by column level. So this is column, this is constraint. This is column, this is constraint. this is column, this constraints. Okay, until finish. Okay, next. Okay, the next one. Okay, violating the constraints. Okay. When you have a constraint in place of columns, an error is returned if you try to violate the constraint rules. Example, if you try to update a record with a value that is tied to an integrity constraint, an error is returns. Okay. Update employees, set department ID 55, where department ID is 11, 1110. Okay. Because of why this is violating the constraint? Because department 55 does not exist. Okay, department 55 does not exist. Okay, so if this not exist, we cannot simply change we cannot simply update the value. So please make sure the department ID 55 exists in our department ID and in the table department. Okay, so this is what we call as a violating the constraints. Next lesson agenda is creating table using a subquery. Okay. Okay, so how? Okay, we can create a table and insert row by combining the create table statement and the as subquery options. Okay, so we create a table here like usual and followed by as query options. Okay, so for what? This is match the number of specific column to the number of subquery columns, and also defines column with column names and the default value. Okay, let's look at the examples. Okay, so this is the example. So how to creating a table using a subquery. Okay, notice that the data for the department 80 tables come from the employee tables, and the expression salary times 12 is given the alias and cells. Without the alias, the error is generated. Okay, so what happened here? We want to create a new table. Okay, so we create new table name as a department 80. Okay, we put S, and this is our subquery. Okay, so we select employee ID, last names, salary times 12, and then we column alias that column, so put it as an ansal, hire date. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4 column. Okay, so from employees where department ID is 80. So all department ID is equals to 80 will be inserted into this new table department 80. Okay, without we insert one by one. So we just use subquery to insert to create and automatically insert the value into our new table that is department 80. Okay, and then put a describe here, describe department 80. So automatically 34 rows will be selected and it will be inserted into this new table department 80. Okay, so let's move to the next slides. Okay, so alter table. Okay, use the alter table statement to add a new column, to modify an existing column definitions, to define a default value for the new columns, drop a column, rename a columns, and also change table to read only status. Okay, this statement if let's say we want to create this one, we can use alter table. We can use alter table. Okay, next. Read only tables. Okay, read only tables. Use the read only table syntax to put a table into the read only modes. Prevent DDL or DML changes during table maintenance. Okay, so read only meaning that we cannot write. Write means we cannot update. Okay, during what? During maintenance. So we only can read the table. We cannot delete, we cannot insert, we cannot add new and so on. Okay, so for this one, change it back to read and write mode. Alter table employee read only. So we just put read only. So we can only read the table, we can see the data, but we cannot change the data. And after we performing table maintenance and also return table back to read write modes. And if let's say we want to return back to read write mode, okay, alter table employee read and write. Here is read only. So two different things. Read only we can just see and read. Read and write we can read, we can edit, we can delete and so on. Okay, notes, a note. Okay, you can drop a table in the read only. You can drop a table that is in the read only mode. Okay, the drop command is executed only in the data dictionary, so access to the table content is not required. The space used by the table will not be reclaimed until the table space is made read write again, and then the required changes can be made to block the segment header and so on. Okay, so be careful. Okay, be careful. We can drop a table in the read only mode. Okay, next. Okay, so this is the example here. Okay, so alter table, read only. Okay, so perform the table maintenance and then return back to the read and read modes. Select from employee, then we can insert a new data. Okay, and just we can insert, and then after that we turn back into the read write mode. Okay, next. Drop table. Okay, so this is the last items for today, the last sub content for today. Dropping tables. Okay, what is dropping tables? Move the tables to a recycle bins. Move the tables in the recycle bins. Or drop means delete. Cuma kita tak boleh guna nama delete because delete is already used in DML. Okay, we cannot use the same reserve word. Okay, because reserve word delete is we already use in DML. So for DDL we use the words drop here. Okay, so this is to remove the table and all the data entirely if the purge or clean clause is specified. Invalid dependent object and removes object privilege on the tables. Okay, it's a simple one. Just the statement is drop table, the names of the table department 80. So after automatically it will be dropped or it will be deleted from our database. Okay, table 80. Okay, so this is quite simple. Alright, so finish with that lesson part 2, lesson 10, week 11. So hopefully as a summary, in these lessons you should have learned how to create table statement, to create a table, include constraint, categorize the main subject, review the structure, list of the data types, and how to create a simple table, the constraints, and also the schema of object. So I think okay, so this is the next one. Creating table, create table, verifying, setting, and last is drop the tables or deletes. Okay, so finish with this one. So hopefully you can understand and you can follow my lecture. So with that, I think I will end these sessions. This is our last topics. Okay, lesson 10, week 11, right? DDLs, creating tables. Okay, so with that, thank you very much. Thank you for listening. Hopefully you can understand. And Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh.